Hello everybody and welcome back to Boss Battles of Wraeclast, the somewhat comprehensive guide to the various bosses in Path of Exile 2. In today's episode we are taking on the second boss of Act 2, and apologies, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this name, but we are taking on Rudja, or Rudja, the Dread Engineer, and she can be located right at the end of the Modern Mine. So right at the end, and you'll have to kill this boss in order to release the NPC who will then join you back on the caravan. So you do have to do this boss. This one is an unskippable boss. Anyway, without further ado, here we are with the Dread Engineer. Okay, so the Dread Engineer is located at the end of the mine. You'll find a doorway with a checkpoint outside, and as you walk in it'll say munitions bunker, and then she's right there. She'll obviously start the fight after about a few seconds, after she notices that you're stood there. Now, the Dread Engineer has a few different types of attacks. She will use her flamethrower like this periodically throughout the fight, where she will aim at your character and fire a stream of fire, and that does do an absolute truckload of fire damage. She did actually kill me with that on my very first attempt. I was trying to block it with the shield, and she melted me within about half a second. But my character doesn't have a huge amount of fire resistance, which is not great. If you don't have a huge amount of fire resistance and don't want to waste currency trying to craft it, one thing I would recommend is if you have some spare Artificer orbs, you can put some sockets on your armor and then put the fire resistance runes in there to give you 12% fire resist for each rune. That's basically what I did before this attempt, and it is slightly helping, but the flamethrower attack still hits pretty hard. Now, throughout the fight, she does also throw out a variety of different grenades. As you can see there, she's thrown out a poison gas cloud. And if I stand within that, I will take chaos damage over time. But fortunately, with those poison gas clouds, she won't set them off with her flamethrower or her explosive grenades, so you don't have to worry about that particular weapon combo working. She will also throw out these explosive grenades, which you could have seen just there. They are quite small grenades that glow bright orange for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then they explode. She throws about 3 or 4 at a time, and occasionally she'll just throw the 1 or 2 throughout the fight as well. So you just need to be paying attention to those. They don't have a huge explosion radius, but they do deal a bit of fire damage, so just be careful with those. She will also throw out a flashbang, which is pretty much instant. She'll throw it directly at your feet, and it will blind your character, which makes you less likely to hit with your melee and ranged attacks. So not your spells, just your attacks. And then finally, she will also throw out quite a large grouping of oil grenades, where they will spawn these oil patches on the ground. But this is a specific attack that she has, so what she'll do is she'll throw out quite a lot of them, as you saw just there, and then she will spin in a very large circle a few times with her flamethrower, which will then set those oil patches on fire. So the flamethrower itself doesn't hit for a lot of damage when she's spinning around the room with it, but the flamey pool of oil on the ground, they do a lot of fire damage over time, so highly recommend avoiding standing in those pools of oil and burning oil. And finally, she does have one kind of heavy attack. She doesn't really have any heavy attacks that she will glow bright red for and have the standard sound effect, but she does have one special attack where basically she will grab an explosive grenade and attach it to the end of her flamethrower, and then she will start chasing your character, wildly swinging the flamethrower about, trying to hit you with a melee attack with that grenade on the end. If she does hit you with it, it does deal a lot of damage. It will obviously do a combo of fire and physical damage, and it does hit very, very hard. But the easiest way to avoid it is, as soon as you see her attach the grenade to the end of her flamethrower, start running away. You could dodge roll if you wanted to, but I usually opt for just running away from her because she does move very fast. If she gets within melee range of you and continues swinging it, then just dodge roll backwards and you should be able to avoid it. And the way to avoid this attack, or the way to know that this attack is ending, is she will swing. Every time she swings twice, so she'll swing from right to left and then left to right, and then she'll do that 3 times in sequence, and then she'll pause, and then the grenade will explode at the end of her flamethrower, and she'll kind of stagger backwards and get stunned for a couple of seconds, so you will get an opportunity to run up and attack her. There you go, as you can see she's chasing me there with the glowing orange grenade at the end of her flamethrower. And then she obviously stopped for a couple of seconds, it exploded and then staggered her for a few more seconds, so it does give you a bit of a window of opportunity to attack her. Oof, she caught me with the flamethrower attack there, which did about 70-80% of my health after a couple of hits, so it does hit very, very hard, does the flamethrower attack. And yeah, that's basically the Dread Engineer. She will drop an uncut skill gem, and that's pretty much it. But as soon as you've defeated her, you will have to go to a cage at the back of the room and release the NPC. There she is. It will come up as a quest. It's Risu, the Faridun detector. And then you'll have to head back to the caravan and speak to her to continue onwards with the next zones. But yeah, that is the Dread Engineer. Thank you everybody for watching, and I shall catch you in the next episode.